Air quality conditions are rapidly deteriorating across the East Coast because of 100 out-of-control wildfires burning in Canada. These are live pictures right now of New York City. The National Weather Service says it's now hazardous to breathe outdoors. Doctors say just being outside today is as dangerous as smoking cigarettes. The haze reaching across the Northeast, engulfing Buffalo. This is a live photo of the sky right now there, creating hazardous breathing conditions in Philadelphia, which you can see. Doctor, here you can see it out the window. You can certainly smell it. Even for an instant, it permeated my apartment last night. It's really insidious. Tell us about the effects that people may be dealing with and handling.
Everybody would be aware that asthma is an issue here, that if you have a pre-existing asthma or allergies, that it can be provoked by the small particles that are in the air, in the smoke. Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, ozone also there, but it's the tiny particles that get into your lungs. And when there are wildfires in California, I've talked to the emergency rooms and they fill up. They fill up with asthma, and we're going to see that problem here. What people don't know about is that a large study in the American Heart Association back in 2018 showed that with these wildfires, you also see a worsening of heart disease, heart failure, and more heart attacks, because when you don't have enough oxygen in your blood, it affects every organ, and we worry about the heart too. So people that have chronic health conditions of any kind really got to watch out for this exposure here and stay indoors and stay away from it.
That's so frightening. Kim, I have to say I feel a little used to this, being from the West Coast.
Pasadena.
Yeah, and when I walked out last night here, though, it was like a PTSD, oh gosh, not here too. It's really, really terrible. It is difficult to breathe.
It really is. And being someone who, has come off of breast cancer, I'm just so involved with my health, trying to have the green juices, trying to, run. I heard YouTube guys talking about working out, and it's really concerning. I mean, it's just a gray haze here. And like Emily said, in Pasadena, where I've been for the last 40 years, this was the norm for a long time. So it's a little bit frightening, the itchy eyes, and I'm so glad you shared with us about it.
And you should ramp up, by the way, on your treatments. If you're an asthmatic, you want to take that extra puff of your inhaler today.
That's great. On the way walking to work today, I saw 2 different people smoking cigarettes, and I was like, way to double dip today. And Kennedy, in lockstep with the never let a good crisis go to waste, let's read what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wrote today via Twitter, Congresswoman from New York City, that says, between NYC in wildfire smoke and this NPR, it bears repeating how unprepared we are for the climate crisis. We must adapt our food systems, energy grids, infrastructure, healthcare, etc., ASAP, to prepare for what's to come and catch up to what is already here. Because that, yes, should be the priority message of her constituents dealing today, unlike what Dr. Siegel said, which is actually giving practical advice.
Right. There are a lot of reasons for wildfires. Wildfires have been happening for a long time before we started talking about the climate crisis. So, I want to make sure that the science is settled before we completely turf our economy and flush any innovation we have down the toilet because of a tweet from AOC. But that's exactly what they want. They want to hold society and the economy hostage in order to fulfill their big government whims. And it's really not about innovation. It's not about making things better. It's not about finding energy sources that would burn cleaner. If that were the case, she would be the poster child for nuclear energy and new nuclear technology in this company, and she's not. They don't talk about it. It's incredibly dishonest because there are alternatives on the table. There are also wildfires that happen without climate change. So especially in California, because of a lot of the land mismanagement and the energy company cartels, they work in concert to keep the status quo, which is a bunch of dry stuff that burns in an instant when you've had a drought.
That's right. And people who care about their health and have lost their properties and loved ones and the like, the last thing we want to hear is some type of smug tweet from someone behind their phone or computer from the safe spaces of somewhere else. Save it, AOC. Kaylee.
Yeah, so we were on a list, I say we, because we're all sitting here in New York City, with Doha, Qatar, Baghdad, Iraq, and Lahore, Pakistan yesterday for air quality. Let that sink in. Right. Dr. Siegel, I think a lot of us are wondering, are there long-term impacts to this too, not just the short-term asthma?
Well, there could be. It depends on what's in that smoke. If you're exposed to it for days, yes. If you have underlying lung disease to begin with, it can get worse and it can stay worse. And the same thing with heart disease. I just said, if you had a heart attack because of this, or an arrhythmia, your heart beats irregularly as a result, which can happen, it can stay with you. So it is a dangerous situation.
Scary stuff. Wow. And it's extending apparently from Minnesota to New York. I read in the Daily Mail. Nuts.
Oh, everyone stay safe. All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.